and welcome to the Medicaid and Marketplace Comparison Tool, sponsored by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. This tool was developed in order to better understand the differences between provider networks offered for Medicaid recipients and ACA Marketplace customers. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to reach out to us at hicksupport@ideonapi.com. That's hicksupport@ideonapi.com, recorded down here at the bottom of the page. Some basic navigation information right at the start is that if you click here on the upper left side, you'll be able to see a list of all 50 states within the USA, including Washington, D.C., to choose from. We have several different levels of analysis for you to choose from here, as you can see at the top of the screen. Network overview, network penetration, total providers, PCP versus specialty, network strength, network diversity, network sufficiency, race and ethnicity, and income. I'll go into more detail for each topic as I demonstrate that topic's page. First, we're on the Network Overview tab here. Here you can select your base network from this section right here, and also a comparison network. Each network is labeled either ACA or Medicaid within these dropdowns, and you can select any combination to compare when you make your choices for the base and comparison networks. Once you select your networks, you'll be able to pick out the specialties that you'd like to analyze. You can pick as many as you would like, but you'll get your results more quickly if you keep your selections to about 10. Once your selections load, you'll be able to see at a glance which network has more providers. The purple bar here shows the number of providers that exist only in the base network. The gray bar here shows the number of providers that exist only in the comparison network. And the black bar shows the number of providers that both networks carry. You can hover over any of these bars to reveal the exact number of providers within the given network and specialty. And when you click on it, a button that says Show Providers will appear. Once you click on this button, you'll be taken to a page that gives you a list of providers within your selected network and specialty, along with their MPI and address. You can also see a chart at the bottom of the page that gives a brief overview of the network penetration for both networks that you have selected. This shows the percentage of providers that the network covers in comparison to all the providers that exist within a given area. So, for example, if a county has 10 cardiologists and a network has 5 of those cardiologists within their network, that network's penetration of the cardiologist market is 50%. Going more deeply into the topic of network penetration, we can click on the tab at the top of the screen to see an overview of all networks within your selected state to see which networks have penetrated a specific specialty more so than others. This is a fairly straightforward tab, but it's pretty great to see how your base network compares to every other network within the state. You can also select specific counties if you'd like to see if there are any differences. You can also, at any time, narrow your search by a specific radius surrounding a center zip code. The next tab is structured very similarly to our network penetration tab, but instead of overall percentage, we're looking at the raw number of physicians compared to the number of physician assistants and advanced practicing nurses. Here you can change your base network selection, which will highlight that network within the full list. You can also select certain networks in the dropdown in this menu. When you hover over the bar for each network, you'll be able to see the specific number of providers if that's easier to read. For the purposes of the PCP versus specialty tab, we've defined PCPs as any provider with a specialty of internal medicine, general practice, family medicine, and pediatrics as PCP. We don't yet have a way to reliably determine whether a provider is actively PCP or not, so view this in the sense that these are the providers that have the potential to be a PCP. Please note that OBGYN providers are listed in the specialty category. Otherwise, the functionality of this tab is structurally identical to the 3 previous tabs. This tab is the beginning of our map analyses. These maps look at overall raw provider count for the specialties that you indicate in the drop-down menu, and display which network has more providers within a geographic area. Hovering over the menu shows you the raw number of providers and the percentage difference between those maps. If you don't see a county or a zip code available to hover on over these maps, that means that there are 0 providers of the selected specialty available in that geographic region. These maps allow you to see the density of the provider to eligible population ratio for one network. On the left side, you'll be able to select a subset of the population of your choosing. This data all comes directly from the 2020 census and will show you the number of people who fit within the selected population category by both county and zip code. You can also select as many specialties as you would like and determine what the ratio provider to potential patient is. The geographic regions highlighted in purple indicate that there are fewer providers available when compared to the number of people residing in that specific region, and regions highlighted in green indicate that there are more providers in comparison to the ratios across the state. On this tab, you'll be able to determine whether a network has sufficient coverage in a given county. Networks are required to prove adequacy, that is, there are enough providers proportionate to the number of enrollees in a given region. Since we don't have access to enrollment data at this time, we are calculating this based on population counts. You can select the same population groups as in the Network Density tab and pick which provider to population ratio that you'd like to use. There are no uniform standards across the country for ACA or Medicaid networks, so we opted to use Medicare Advantage ratios as a starting point, as they offer standard ratios based on county type. Our final 2 tabs focus on demographic information. In this first tab, we'll focus on race and ethnicity. Each dot represents a single provider, and the color of the counties indicate the density of the selected population residing in that region. You can also change which networks you would like to compare. Hovering over each county reveals the demographic breakdown for further analysis. The Income tab has a similar design for the display of available providers, but this time the color of each county indicates the average household income within the region. The darker the color, the higher the income. That concludes our tutorial of our comparison tool. If you have any questions, please remember to reach out at hicsupport@idionapi.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.